hold it close to
Yeah, I would just like clip it to your, or you can also clip it between the buttons.
Sure.
Guter Hinweis.
Ghost man. Yeah, you will see.
All right, should we start? In Deutsch oder Englisch? Ah, okay. English, please. Of course. Yeah. First of all, I will kick off this one as a representative from WeWork. So my name is René. I'm the community manager for our buildings here in Hamburg, and I have the pleasure to introduce you to our newest asset in Hamburg. So WeWork Straße recently opened back in August, 1st of August. So everything that you see is brand new, and this is actually the first event that we are doing here. So I'm really, really glad to welcome you all together with Social Developers Club for the first event here. So maybe as a short introduction to WeWork, as I'm not sure if everyone knows WeWork by now. So WeWork is the world's biggest flexible space provider. We are offering offices and single desks for companies of all sizes. So here in the building, for example, we have in total 1,250 desks to provide to companies of all sizes. So if you are interested, please reach out to us. We are here for the rest of the day, so we are happy to give you a tour around the new building. And with that being said, I hand over to you, Julia, and I wish you all a great day and a great event here at WeWork Straße.
Thank you. Thanks, René. Also, thank you to WeWork for providing us with a tap beer and water and tea today, and this beautiful location. And coffee, yeah. Whoever's crazy and drink coffee now at this time. Who knows Social Developers Club and was already at one of our events? Ooh, half of you, I would say. Nice. Welcome to all the newbies. A quick introduction what we are doing. This is us, Social Developers Club. We are an inclusive tech community beyond code. So like today, not only coding, but also talking about the things that are related to tech and code, but also on a more bigger view. And we want to make technology accessible to all. We do this by meetups like this today. So after work event, classically, but also we have a conference in March. The next one is March 16th, so already save the date. We only have 300 seats this year, next year. And we do workshops, also beginner workshops into coding, a lot of workshops for kids and younger people as well. So also an announcement, the Code Week. I don't know if you know, who knows the Code Week in Hamburg? No one? Okay, then you should look up the Code Week. It's an EU-wide program where you can just start your own workshop for kids this year. It's in October, I think the 7th till 22nd. Whenever you want to try out a workshop yourself. Also, this is the Pac-Man circle, and this is like the main character of our events, because if later we have some time to hang out together, have some food and drinks, and then usually people stand around in circles, please do so, but always make sure to leave a space open, like the Pac-Man mouth, so anytime anyone can join your group. That would be great. And also remind others of doing this. We love that. We will also take pictures. There's a live stream running, so if you walk past the stage, then you will be on the live stream. And also, can you wave over there? We will take pictures with a camera. If you don't want to be on the pictures, that's totally fine. Just let me know. Then you get a little sticker from me, and everyone taking pictures, also on their phone, knows that you don't want to be published. And here come some more announcements. We are planning DevFest this year. It's a conference regarding all the Google technologies usually. If you want to be a speaker at DevFest this year, it's already in November. Please take a picture now. And register for our call for papers. If you're doing anything with Android, Kotlin, web, cloud, AI, Flutter, we're hoping to have you there as a speaker. Oh, still taking pictures? Great. Also, hit me up on LinkedIn if you want a link again. Then we have a hackathon also coming up in October. It's about also Gen AI. It's a 2 days work hackathon where you can be at the Google office. It's really pretty, and try out really cool things together with Kühne und Nagel. Was that fast enough? Okay. And last thing to promote today, you will have already probably seen on your seats that today our meetup is together with Zoho, and today is more like an introduction into the topic, but I just want to already let you know, if you want to learn more about this, we already have a workshop planned also for October. You can already pre-register during this code, QR code, because we only have around 20 seats for that workshop. So put your name on the list and then you get all the information about that. And I think that's from my side. Here's some social media links you can take us in. And now please give the stage to Elena.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, let's just put it here. So let's also quickly check it. We can use this as a time to, like, last moment to check this. Oops. Check, check. Working? All right. Good evening, everyone. So I'm really glad, actually surprised to see so many faces. That's probably a good sign. So all of you are pretty interested in low-code development. So thank you for your time, that you actually could allocate some capacity for us on this Tuesday evening. Thank you for the organizers as well for accommodating all of us. I'm actually not that wizard who is going to enlighten you today on all the technical parts, on how you can build more business tools with like less time. This is what my colleague Padma is going to do in the separate presentation. But I'm going to walk you through several, let's say about our company. I'm going to show also some of the products which we have to offer. And yeah, so let's start. This is just for you to keep on the same page with me. As I said, I'm just going to shortly cover what is Zoho as a company, where we are present, what we do, which products we have, and probably also we can just discuss afterwards why you can and why should you probably choose for Zoho. So let's go on. So who are we out there? Zoho is actually an Indian technology company. We're globally present in some of the major markets. We've been there for quite some time, so it's not like one of those companies who just popped out on I don't know, during the Corona time. We've been there almost for 25 years. The foundation year I think was 1996. The interesting fact about Zoho is that the company has never really gone for external funding. So it was just organically growing for all these years, for 25 years, which sort of allowed the company to choose its own way. So, for instance, at Zoho, the majority of the budgets are not allocated for the marketing and sales, but for instance for research and development, which allows us to put more focus on the product's quality. Also, one of the most important things, which I think is very worth of mentioning, is that Zoho puts big value on privacy topics. So the company itself has already opted out from the advertising model. So basically, if you like use our products, there are like no ads which you will see neither in the free product or paid version. What else like to put here? As I said, so like privacy is a big topic for us. So also we do not like use any trackers on the website. So that means like when someone comes as a user on the website, they can actually expect not to be tracked by like any other companies. So to put some more numbers out there, who doesn't like numbers? Zoho is present in more than 150 countries. As I already said, like we're basically in like some major markets. We employ about like 15,000 people, and a big milestone, which we like just recently reached out. We have about 100 million users, which I think everyone in the company is super proud about because it's a bootstrapped company, right? So we never like went for any outside financing. And so actually through just like this organic growth, this is the number of users that trust us throughout the years. As I also said, like we have pretty rich product line. So about like 55 products, and every year we just add something new. So basically we constantly stay like on top of the trends and things. So most probably like next year, if we talk again, most probably we would have like, I don't know, 60 or 65 different products on top of it. And as for our presence, as I said, we're pretty much everywhere. So in Europe, our headquarters is in Utrecht in Netherlands. Then we have offices in Lille, in Essen, and in Valencia in Spain. So we also have like multiple data centers, which I think is like very big thing. Like if we talk about, you know, like any tech company. So usually if you come on the website, it's going to be like defined by default based on your IP address, like where are you based. Probably, if you're like, let's say, coming from the German website, your data will be going to Amsterdam. That's where we have our own data center for the European users. So, as like I said, we're like present in many markets, but we're also growing constantly. As you could see, our software is very much beloved in the Latin America. So, and this is sort of like to round up the story about Zoho. So these are the brands which we were working already with. Just like as any company, Zoho has also like values and principles on which we rely on. So as I said, like the company puts really big value on the like reinvention and on the improvement of the product. So like we really listen to the feedback from our clients. So when they like say, okay, this feature is like missing, most probably we will just like add this and the next update it will come. So as I said, like here's also the sort of like an overview of the products. Sorry, I was like sick recently. Losing my voice from time to time. As I said, like we're offering individual apps. So in our product line, you can find about like 50 different products. Also, which is like a cool stuff, we have like many extensions and ads-on, like in our own marketplace, which you can just like scroll around. We also have suites. So like, yeah, for individual applications. Basically, we also cover like every like business category by saying that, I mean, like we have the solutions for finances, for like HR, for the marketing, etc. You name it. So the suites, these are basically, let's say like, yeah, bundles of the different apps. So let's say if you like, for instance, sorry, as I said, like, going back to, yeah, so if you opt for Zoho Finance Plus, you will be, for instance, given like a pack of 6 apps. So basically like from invoicing to order management, etc. And then our mother product is Zoho One. So this is basically a monster product. It like contains almost 45 of our apps. And yeah, with that one you can basically run the entire corporate. So why choose Zoho? It's not a sales pitch, but just to, you know, like also still to emphasize some of the points. We're pretty much the only company which has such a like comprehensive solution on the market. We are very transparent with our pricing. Also, like our users have a really like good deployment time. And in general, you know, if you just come like from outside and like start using Zoho, even with like less technical understanding, our interfaces are very user-friendly, so it's like quite easy to start using the products. And this is like the most boring slide because this is like has to do with the compliance, but nevertheless, it's very important always to mention this. As I was also like showing before, we have several own data centers. Yeah, and if you think about like that your company or someone else needs like digital transformation, Zoho is probably a super cool solution to help you out with this. And if my small presentation wasn't like enough to cover such a huge company as Zoho, so feel free to scan the QR code. Here, like I think it goes directly on our English version website, so that you can, yeah, help yourself and like find more information. Thank you so much.
Don't take a break right now because it was really short, but after Padma's talk. Does anyone not want to be on the picture? Just raise your hand. All right, then we get the microphone. Oh, is it on here?
No, can you just disconnect it?
Oh, is it not connected?
Yeah, we will disconnect this.
Or disconnect?
Just stop, just stop. Yeah, just close this, that's it.
Yes, perfect. Can you get this outside? Oh, great.
Yeah, good evening to one and all. So very happy to see all of you after your work, and I know how tiring it's going to be. But I think at this point of time, talking about a low-code application platform would be more interesting, also more questioning for you to know how the platform is able to perform what we are committed to say as low-code application platform. So, I hope everyone is aware of low-code application platform, and anyone have used it earlier? That's nice. Okay, good, because it's almost the world of LCAP, or a low-code application platform is what they say. A lot of business users, or one who wants to run a company, wants to quickly build a solution. So, they don't want to go and learn a language in depth and maybe convert that business process or the use case into a solution, which is a very long process. As a developer myself, I have around 15 years of experience in development. So, I have the experience of a pro coding, and now for the past 6 years I have been doing this low coding. So, I can see the value for the solution that we could see right in front of our eyes when the requirement is given to us, without some kind of fight in the company. At least I can say that, because me being part of the development team, I know the tough fight that we used to have with the requirement team, then the system admin team, and we have various teams in the company, right? So, we will need to gather all of them together. First, there will be a requirement team coming in with the business requirements, saying this is our requirement, we want the automation for this requirement. And immediately the developer's brain starts thinking, okay, what the requirement is going to be. And then comes another question, whether we have the supported platform for it, whether we have the supported server, we have that enough memory in order to run our application. Do we have the right version of the application or the programming language that we want to use? Are we having skilled people in the company? Then all the departments starts working together. A lot of brainstorming session happens. At least I would say 1 week to 10 days it will be a heavy brainstorming session in order to set up a team. And then starts the actual work. There again there will be another 10 days to create a platform, set the environment. Okay, now it is good to go, then starts the development. Once the development starts, you will have as an agile model, because initially we had a lot of software development lifecycle models like iterative model, rainfall model, then spiral, and so many models was introduced. Finally, we had this agile model, which seemed to be the best model. But again, with the agile model, we will have the development team and the testing team fighting each other. It is a very long process. The development team always takes upper hand, saying, sorry, this is the requirement, we want it this way. Then the testing team says, no, you have interpreted the requirement wrongly. This is not what the user wants. So they see at the end user perspective. Development team always compares the requirement. Okay, imagines, okay, the end user is what they are. But the testing team doesn't look at the application like that. They see as a real end users, and there will be a real fight happening up and down, and the feedback coming up and down, and the feedback doesn't stop with the development team. It goes one step back to the requirement team. Then that's it, the entire process starts. So the iteration or the spiral starts right from the beginning. The feedback is up and down, and there is a big wall which has to be broken in order to see to it that all of us are on the same page. So I think after seeing all this, it was nice to work like that. Yeah, a lot of learning is there, good, bad. But at the same time, when I started working on this low code, I could see such, there is no disturbed environment at all. The requirements come to us, and we are able to convert that design into what is expected as a solution. because everything is managed by something called as the low code application platform. So that is what I will be actually talking to you about today. What a low code application platform is. So this would be my agenda in a nutshell. So how do we explore the low code application platform and what are its capabilities? When do you call a platform as a low code application platform? So only if it has few capabilities. Apart from that, I'll be taking you through the Zoho Creator journey. Zoho Creator is a low code application platform tool which was actually built by the company Zoho. We have this 55 plus apps which you saw from the earlier presentation, and this is one such tool. The apps that you have seen, the other apps that you have seen is as a solution as a service, like a SaaS. It's a ready-made product used for certain purpose. But when it comes to low code, it is called as a platform as a service. That is the entire platform with all encapsulated layers. What I mean by encapsulated is, I was talking to you about the sysadmin job, right? The system admin job of setting up the server, setting up the network, setting up the operating system, setting up the device compatibilities, the software solution that you need to give, the programming language environment, runtime environment that you need to set up. So these things are all well encapsulated. That means I really need not worry about that. I'll just get into the job. I got the requirement and I understood the flow. This is how it has to be. So I'm going to just convert that into automation or the solution or the SaaS. That is what we are expecting as an end product. So that part I'll be driving you on how Creator is having this low code application capability, and a quick demo. I won't take more time. We can do a lot of brainstorming. You will have a lot of questions. So I'd be happy to answer them. So that is what is the planned agenda. So first thing is, what is low code? So as I told you earlier, I think I have addressed this point very clearly, that it's a platform as a service where a user can just build, run and manage the application. So that means everything can be done by that one person or two people or maybe 3 or 4, not as a big group or multiple groups sitting in different places running around. Nothing, does not required. And it's again a cloud based, so it's easy to collaborate. You don't need to move from place to place. Then what are the benefits? So as I told you already, we have a very good increased agility. And when it comes to agility, normally it comes in hand with the change management. Whenever there is a requirement, we do a setup. When there is a change, we need to reiterate and visit the entire process of discussion, then putting things in action, creating a design document and then converting to code. So that part is easily, quickly managed. Then productivity and good experience. That is, when we do this low code, when we use this low code platform and we deliver the solution in agile model, so the customer is immediately able to experience and say, okay, this is what I wanted as a solution. So when there is a change that is required, we could immediately address it right from the platform level, because it doesn't need too much of environment setup. Everything is already there, up and running. And across device compatibility, that is another major benefit of low code application platform. Who can use this? So actually HR in a company will have a very less work, at least when it comes to recruiting IT skilled people for building some solutions based on low code. That is, the HR team need not look out for the skilled people. Okay, we want somebody who's really good in Java, who's really good in front-end, or as a full-stack developer or a front-end developer or a back-end developer. Need not be worried about it if that company is going to build solutions focused on low code. So that means who the users could be directly. There is no wall. The business user is there, or a citizen developer. Citizen developer is the one who has a very good business knowledge. So with the business knowledge, he just is going to convert that into a quick solution. Maybe he could extend the help of some of the enterprise developers or the IT people when certain complex development is required, which is where you will see at the end the professional developers. Then what kind of applications can be built? We can take it from simple to medium to complex. So it depends upon the kind of requirement that you get. There is no specific restrictions to say that it is capable to build only simple, only complex, or only medium. You can extend it to the complex applications by integrating with various other products, which is going to be one of the capabilities of low-code application platform, which I'll be walking you through. So this is the major part that we need to address when it comes to low-code application platform. Now, when do we call a platform as a low-code application platform? What are the capabilities that are basically required? That is easy drag and drop. That is, if you say a citizen developer is sitting in the development of a solution, simple solution, the job should be easy. When he sees a name field, he knows that okay, this is to do with the first name, last name, a prefix or a suffix. It's all very clear. Similarly, email. When there is an email field, he need not sit and do any kind of validation, whether it's the email contains @ whether the email contains the domain name, whether the email contains .com or .eu. That hassle of coding is not necessary. So that is handled by the low-code platform. And address field, it's again a little more complex field. Normally in address field, what we do, we will have a multi-line field and type the address the way we want it. It will be continuous, it will be in a new line character, the way whatever we want it, and then it has to be our code which will actually smartly look into getting the data, whether it is a new line character or it is continuously typed or it is a comma separated. Let's not think of that logic. We don't need to get there at all. For which we have something called the address field, where it is a composite field which will contain address line 1, 2, and then postcode, city, state, country, everything is separately captured. Then, so this way, just looking at the field name, you will know the purpose of it. So that means you have the requirement in your hand and you know what your module should look like. When I say the word module, it will be related to the component in platform called as forms. So what a form should look like. So what all fields it needs to have as an input from the user. So that's the first compatibility. Next one is, okay, I build it once. Do I need to write a separate mobile coding to make it mobile compatible or tablet compatible? Do I need to have any kind of HTML styling to say, make it compatible to this device or that device? You don't need that. That hassle is not at all necessary. So if we have to say a low-code application platform, a platform is going to be a LCAP or a low-code, it means you build it once, you should be able to access it in any device in its own compatible manner. It means it has to, the visibility, the usage, the user experience should be as it is when you use a device. Then comes, this is the most very popular, at least I would say every day, I could hear the word AI. So what this AI is going to actually power, or how is it going to power your platform? Like say for example, one good example is what you see on the screen. I'll be showing you an example, a live demo of it. That is, I have the data in my Excel sheet and I have multiple sheets, and these are, say I have a very old system where I have exported all the sheets, data from various modules, and collected as multiple sheets in a workbook. Now using this workbook, I want to convert that into an application. I don't need an expert sitting there, IT expert sitting there. Just few clicks Just go and click and say create. It's going to create the entire application for you. I'm going to show you one example how it does. So what actually happens here is this AI, the word AI we are using here, it analyzes the data that comes in from the sheet, compares the values and see what this particular data is about. Is it a date kind of a data, or a phone number kind of a data, or address, or a name? So that kind of compatibility is done is provided by this AI, and also the relationship that it sets between the modules, like seeing the string value, it will say, okay, there is a relationship between two forms, two sheets, we'll need to make use of it. So that is automatically recognized by AI. So these are, and also you can do some cleansing of the data. And you know that the data from old system or the data which is entered by the user not necessarily has to be a clean data. Certain, say for example, if I take phone number, you will see plus sign in some without a plus sign in many. Or in a currency field, some will represent, say, Great Britain pound as GBP. Some will put the pound symbol. Some will say GBPD. It depends. However they want, they will give the data, but you need to cleanse the data. So the cleansing is done using AI. So these are some of the AI powers that I have talked, but actually the platform itself contains even more value for it. So then comes the customized dashboard. Say now you have the data all over in your system, you have the data in your solution. Now we need to collect all that in one place, depending upon the role of the person in the company. As a CEO, I want to look at the dashboard in a different way. I want to see what has happened to the entire data or the process. Say for example, sales process. How is it going? What is the trend that is happening? Is there any fall in the profit or increase in the profit? So all this in one stop place to analyze the data in the way you want it, depending upon the solution. For a sales process, that is required. When it comes to recruitment, you would like to know which all companies or the clients have posted their jobs and how many candidates from which locations they are available. So as a map report, you will be able to see how good the recruitment is happening. So all these kinds of dashboard customization capability is provided by the platform. And then comes the rebranded portal. So we should not all the time say, when I say Zoho Creator, that means your portal need not have the word Zoho Creator or Zoho. You will need your own company. You will need your own logo on it. So to accomplish that, you will have this low-code application platform needs to have something called a portal, as a portal, customer portal, or third-party users who logs into end users of your system, who logs into your system to activate your business, run your business. So those cases, you will need your company branding on it. So that is possible using the rebranded portal, and that is supported by this low-code application platform. Then as I was talking to you about the mobile capabilities or across device capabilities, one is you develop once, you download it as a mobile app, and as a native app, again you can rebrand it. Again, this native app can be a rebranded one of your own company. So you just download it and you just put it in your Play Store or Apple Store with all the security measures. When it comes to Apple Store, the process is quite long and more secured. I do agree it. But with Android, it is pretty simple. You have the APK file, just pass it on. I know it is not right to say that, but yeah, that is how it works. I love Android for that matters. For me, using iOS or any Apple-based platform is pretty difficult. I know, because it's very secured and it ties my hand. I can't play around with it. At least for demo purpose, as a solution person, I truly am not comfortable with iOS. Maybe I'll be using the Apple laptop that was provided by the company. I tried using Google Chrome, but it was prohibited. They said don't use it. Okay, then I switched on to Apple. I'm trying hard to learn this. I know it's very difficult. for me. Then if you just see on the left hand side, this is one sample native app that was built using our low code application platform. This is the left side, what you see is a rebranded one. It's a pure native app built for that particular food chain. And what you see on the right hand side, here there might be pro coders. How many who have done real extensive coding? Wow, definitely there are people against this. Nice. So this is for the pro coders, we can say. So Android developers or iOS developers, mobile app developers. This is what is an example or the compatibility that our platform provides. We don't say, okay, all the time use Zoho Creator. It's okay. You don't need to use Zoho Creator fully. Put it at the back end. But your front end can be your Android application, your Android way of building it, your iOS way of building it. Because you will get used to, you will like seeing it that way. Have that as a front end. Put Creator as a back end, as a database. The reason why I am saying put Creator as a database because of the actual capability of the low code, where you don't need a back end team to sit and build a data structure for you. So I will show you why in course of the session. Okay. So this, what you see on the right hand side is the mobile SDK feature that was used with Android Studio. So it was built totally with Android Studio, the front end, and use the data from Creator as a backend. And it is not just using only Creator as a backend. We have a hybrid model. You might think some certain reports like the map reports or list reports or certain things will be so beautiful in Creator, easy to do, and you just want to embed that here. So that's also possible. So it's like a hybrid model. Either build entire front end using your Android Studio or iOS core and use Creator as a backend, or do a hybrid. Certain things which are really good in Creator, try to embed that inside your Android. So that is also possible. So this is the way we achieve the mobile capability. When I talk about mobile apps, then talk about the users, whether that app is going to be for the organization user or it's going to be for the end user, because you will need various apps, right? For end customers, you need a different user portal. So that feature is supported. The next very, very important expectation that you can have with the platform is integrating it with any of the third-party applications. Since we have 55 plus apps, I have just put all in one Zoho logo apps. So, but the more interesting part is you can still connect to other outer world, to the totally different world of Zoho, outside Zoho, using the integration platform called as Zoho Flow, which itself is a product in our company. So the beauty of this Zoho Creator, currently what we have is it's bundled with this connector. So I have a Zoho Creator platform as a PaaS, you build your own solution. I have Zoho Flow as a connector to connect to the outer world, other applications, bring in the data. And apart from that, we have something called BI powered platform. So how many of you have heard of BI platforms? Analytics, because that's the most important thing in a business. You will see the data that way. This dashboard maybe looks very simple, but you can, because that is the data that I had in one of my applications, so I had to take this. But depending upon the complexity or depending upon the data content that you have inside your application, you can quickly integrate it with our product called as a Zoho Analytics, which is also a BI platform, and that is also bundled with Creator. So if you just take Creator as such, it is a PaaS, a platform as a service, where you build your own SaaS and use a connector called Zoho Flow to talk to other applications or other Zoho applications, and use this BI platform called the Zoho Analytics in order to build a beautiful thematic dashboards, embed that inside your creator. So as a portal user or a customer or end user or even the organization user, when they log into the system, they will be able to see, visualize, contextualize the data they wanted. So these are I would say that the most needed capabilities what I have discussed so far. We have few extended capabilities because which is where we need to encourage pro coders, at least people who are really good in coding. They should not say, well, you people are just joking around with the drag and drop. No, we need more to it. Yes, definitely I understand that point, because I was actually I was like a cat on a wall when I started working on the low code application platform, and I used to fight with the low code team saying that sorry, it doesn't work the way what you talk and all. But yeah, so those cases what they did was, okay, let's not have a fight, we will extend the capability of creator. Okay, let even the pro coders participate in it. Maybe they will think better than a citizen developer because they have a very good background of coding and they know how things will look like from outside as a solution, and they will know how to use the low code in a better way. They could also be the inspirers to the citizen developers who should know how to use the low code application platform. So that is what I was thinking, I'm thinking even now. So HTML and ZML, there's one of the front end capability. Just by drag and drop, we don't want to achieve all the themes, all the capabilities of front end. We want to just extend the capability of creating pages using HTML. And ZML is a Zoho markup language, which is a proprietary of ours, same as HTML, but has got the way to place the components like a panel in a row or a column, inside which you can place a button, a text or an image. And the advantage of ZML over HTML is, once you set up the ZML, you can definitely use it across all the devices. It will automatically be compatible. Whereas when it comes to HTML, we need some kind of styling still to be done, but it is more powerful, no doubt about it. But some styling needs to be done, at least to fix or to fit on the resolution, screen resolution. You need to touch base on all those styling when it comes to HTML. Then comes the other, we opened up another scope of widgets. Okay, with just the HTML, ZML doesn't really work. The job doesn't stop there. We need more interactive front end where we need to bring in the capability of JavaScript, various JavaScript frameworks. So this JS widget feature which we have in this our low code application platform called Creator is that you can write your own widgets, framework, build it, zip it, take the distribution file, just upload it into our platform, it is ready to use. And inside this widget, you will have a way to embed or you will have a way to talk to Creator. As I was telling you, widget is again a simple front end, correct? You will need a backend. For this backend, you will be using Creator. So Creator is already available for you. You have your skills of building your own front end, upload it, and you can use the SDKs to talk to each other. So that is another option. Then last one is, this is the most recent one that was introduced in our platform called as the canvas. So the canvas, the objective of this canvas was how quickly and easily you can actually create a front end. Like you don't need to write snippets or codes. Just drag and drop the respective components the way you want it, the layout you want it, maybe in a tabbed order manner, or you want it in multiple sections, or you want it to be more interactive as buttons with all the buttons that you wanted. All those features are available today with something called as canvas. So you have the data and now you can create your own layout to visualize the data the way you want it. So these are the front-end capabilities. Now coming to the server-side capabilities, by default, if you consider all of the Zoho products, the proprietary scripting language that we use is called as the Deluge. And The word may be deluge, but the language is very simple. It is same as JavaScript. If you know most of the JavaScript syntax, it's easy to understand deluge. Then by default it is the language. Still everything couldn't be achieved using deluge. So we had some file operations, extensive file operations or graphics that needs to be handled, which was not doable with deluge, which is when we opened up or extended the platform to the Java and Node.js. So that means as a pro coder, you have the freedom of thoughts. Apply your creativity in making this creator even better platform. So these are some of the server side capabilities. Then comes, this is the most recently added one called as the augmented reality. Okay, the things that I was talking to you about was is and will be used all the time. When it comes to augmented reality, in certain cases, I think of late the AR and VR plays a very vital role in some of the companies like the manufacturing companies or assessment companies and all. They wanted this augmented reality. So this augmented reality, we have it as you bring in a 3D model of the specified format and you just fit it into our platform and you can experience it. I can show you one example of how it is available in our system. So these are the extended capabilities, the actual required capabilities what we saw earlier. And I'll be showing you a quick demo how the platform would look like. I hope I have not crossed the time because I'm not watching out on the time. So let me take you to the platform. As what happens is the way you need to do is just go to creator.zoho.com. You can just create an account. It depends upon the location where you log in. And once, suppose your IP is going to be placed in Europe, it will automatically store the data in EUDC. If you are in the US, it will go to .com/DZ. You can also change the DZ. And if you are in India, it will go to INDC. So the account or the data center, the data where it's going to be get stored from the application will be decided depending upon from where you're creating your account. You also have the possibility to change it. Now, as you log into the system, your first thing that you see is this dashboard. You have various applications. Initially, for the first time when you log in, this page will be empty and you have the scope of creating solution. So we have actually categorized into something called development, deployment and manage. So the purpose, again, when you say develop is where you build solution and you create connections, because I was talking to you about connecting to the outer world or other solutions. Then deployment, this is the place where the developers play a big role, and because it's again cloud computing, you will have your company here, but you will have your developers elsewhere. It's also possible, because I have been dealing with some partners having the company in Belgium. They have their developers in Madagascar and they have a developer somewhere in India also. So this is how they work. So how do they control? How do they manage the entire development model? So there comes our SDLC model, where we have the check-in, check-out, all that visual source safe and the GitHub concept, right? We are not there fully, at least right now. To start with, we have something called the environments, where you can bring your entire solution into this environment to start with the development stage and share this application only to certain developers who are all the actual developers. Share this to them. That means the development phase will be shared only to the developers. Similarly, we don't, as I was telling you, we don't need a separate testing team, because it's all taken care of automatically by the platform. We have something called the stage, where you would create multiple profiles in your application. Like, say for example, you take an order management system. As an end user, you want to be a sales manager. As an end user, you want to be, maybe as a user, you want to be a sales manager. As a portal user, you want to be a vendor. As a portal user, you want to be a customer. And as an organization user, you want to be the CEO who's managing all this, or the accountant who's managing the financial part, the transactions. So you will create various profiles. So in our application or in this platform, we have an option to create profiles. So what you could do is you can set up demo users for each and every profile you create. That means I don't need a tester there to do the job. I have a profile created. I know what this particular profile user can access. So I have the permission already defined. Only I can access these components, only these forms, these reports, these pages. So I cannot go beyond that. So once I have these profiles created, I can map it to the demo users. So for each and every profile, I have a demo user. As a developer myself, I can publish this application to stage and do a complete testing. See, okay, as an end user, I'm able to visualize what is actually going to happen to the system. So there we'll have a clear demarcation of the roles and responsibility of the team. So even if there is somebody in Madagascar or India, doesn't matter. Still, there is a collaboration that is happening in this unified platform. So that is what is covered by this environments. And I was talking to you about the mobile capabilities, because these are all the way you want to deploy it. Whether you want to deploy it as a mobile application, or you want to deploy it as a browser, however you want to deploy it, or you want to deploy it as a portal for a customer, for the third party users, because you have two types of stakeholders in this application platform, correct? One would be the organization users, one who works in this organization, the account owners, employees, and the other one would be the end users from outside. They would want to log into the system. As a customer, they want to log into the system and do some, say, raise a request. They want to place an order. And as an organization user, as a sales manager, you will pick up the order and confirm it. You will check for all the possibilities, do the business automation, check for the possibilities and confirm the order. Then finally, say for example, there is a stock deficiency there, and you will need to place a purchase order. There you will involve another third party called the vendor. So there the procurement cycle starts. So your entire procurement cycle ends, the data comes into the system, and then your order is finally taken to logistics. There again a third party is into the place. So you have multiple stakeholders in your application. So that is controlled using the deployment model. Finally, as I was talking to you about various users, which is where you have something called the users, governance over the users of the application. What kind of profile and permissions that you want to define for the organization user, for the portal user. So all that can be very clearly defined here. And okay, all this happening in the system, there should be a way to analyze whether things are really working. Because something could go wrong, definitely things will go wrong, and something goes wrong, you need to have some audit trail, or you need to have some logs. All that is handled using something. We have a feature called audit trail, we have something called logs, where you will be able to clearly understand somebody has deleted the data, you'll know who has deleted it, that is captured here. Or somebody has changed the data, okay, some new data has come in, or there is some failure in the schedule that has happened. Okay, what is the reason for the failure? All that can be analyzed. And also we have a concept called form email data. That is, each and every module or the form that you create will contain a unique email address. And you're going to say send the data to this email address in the specific template. Then you will have, say for example, so if you see under the template, right? So this is the unique email address that is given for this form. So from my inbox, could be any inbox, I send an email with this in the body, message body, and keep a value, just type the value next to this template, each and every field, and you just send, it stores the data in Creator. So that is form email data concept. So you can have some defined templates for, say, customers' feedback. You don't need a specific form and all. Rather, create a template, send it to them, and that gets stored into the system. So these are certain easy way or a very low code way to handle requests. So this is about majorly on the creator, how the platform itself looks like. Now I'll show you one quick solution which I'm going to create. So what you see here is the capability which I talked about, application, analytics, integration. So I'm going to talk about the application, and you can either create from scratch, that is drag and drop, or from gallery. When I say gallery, we have some standard templates based on the industry for sales or manufacturing or recruitment or any kind of industry. We have various templates. You have various built-in applications itself. You just install it and improvise on it, customize it the way you want it. So that means you don't need to start anything from scratch. You have a base, work on it. Then otherwise, I don't have any base, I have only data. Okay. Then comes the smart import or the AI powered feature. I have a data called the application. I want to create an application called asset management. It's a simple, when you see the word asset management, you don't really think complex. What I have is a little simple here, but you can also make it complex. You can try it out that way. So if you just look at this case, as I was talking to you about the fields, right? The AI has, from the name, it has recognized it as a name field. That means I can customize it, I can split it. So this is what I want to look at. I have a prefix, I want to have a suffix. Okay, if you feel, no, I don't want to have prefix, suffix, it's too much on a form, remove it, you don't need it. Then we have other forms, other sheets, these are all sheets actually. Other sheets called the department, which has this data, the roles, which has these data, and if you look into the employees, at the top of the department and role, you will see a word called look up. Look up, looking up into another table, that is setting a relationship between the employee table and the departments table, or employee table and the roles table. So this is automatically recognized by this AI which is powered in the platform in order to set a relationship. So actually I did not do any drag and drop to set any relationship, it has automatically done it. Then you have the, if you see the date field, it is automatically mapped to the date field type. Then we have something called asset request, and normally if you just take a request, one asset, you can have multiple line items, like having a form inside a form. Say for example, the word line item is self-explanatory. If you take any order, purchase order or sales order, you will have the order entry, you will have each and every product's entry. So that line item, we call it as a subform in Creator. The word we use is subform. And for relationship, the word we use is lookup. Yeah. So first thing is, I know definitely asset details is a subform to the asset request. That means this form has to be part of the asset request. That means I can just give some standing instruction, make it as a subform. Okay, for which main form do you want this to be a subform? Asset request. And what is the column with which you want to really set this as a subform? So, okay, so there is one small change which we will need to do. Because of this AI, it has recognized this into a lookup field, but this is a string field. So what we'll do is convert this into a single line field, so that when I'm trying to create a one-to-many relationship here, that is, I want to convert that into asset request form. I'll map the asset request ID because that is the string field, and the linking field is also asset request ID. So it will take the string that you see here, AR001, in both asset details and asset request, and it will think, okay, this is what is going to be the matching or the relationship that is going to set between these two, to make this as a child to the parent called the asset request. So now I've created a subform. So if you go to asset request, initially this was like a single line field. Now it is showing you the icon of a subform or the line item field. That is, it has created a one-to-many relationship. Then you have this address field which I was mentioning as a composite field. I can split this further so that you will have it as address line 1, city, state, postal code, country. So based on the delimiter that you see in that entire string, AI splits that into the respective composite fields as it does for the name field as well. Similarly, if you just take this contact person as a name field, I want to split it further with a space in between, it is able to split it. I don't want prefix and suffix. If you want, have it. Then say for example, there are so many sheets. I don't want all the sheets to be imported for now. Or you have an option to say don't include this field. That's it. So this table won't be created. So the rest should be created with some data. So if you just go to the design, it will automatically show you the relationships that it has already set with the data that has come in. So there is no separate effort that is taken by the developer in order to go as a backend developer. Okay, these are all the input fields, these have to be the foreign key or the primary key, nothing. Everything is defined. How do you define that? You have here, when you choose a field, right, you have an option called, say for example, when you click on this, you have mandatory and no duplicates. So the constraints are defined already. You can define those constraints here. Right now I have not done anything. You could still do it and try it. So by doing so, this entire schema is built or structured by the platform, and now you can see, I hope there are no surprises. Normally developers will have surprises. Something will not work. 100% fail, 80% success, 20% failure. Okay, lucky me. So I have created the entire application. The asset request or asset management application has been created. And what you see here is, say for example, I was showing you about the drag and drop, right? So this is the form that you will be explicitly be doing as a developer, dragging and dropping the fields or creating the fields with the way you want it and defining the type of field that you want. So with the data that is there in the system, you could see that it has already created the form with you with the data. You can flush out the data, but still the application is with you. You can then play around, you can modify this application further. Then if you just get into the asset request, what you see is the line item which I was mentioning earlier. Like you can keep adding which asset you want, whether it is a non-IT or a IT, and then write the values. The entire thing is done. So this way, from the data, you get your entire application created. And I was talking to you about various reports. By default, as a form is created, you will get a list report, what you see on the screen. For all the forms that you create, by default there will be a list report. But you can still go and create other types of, say for example, I have an address location. That means you would want to see a map report. I want to see a different type of a report. So there is an option called map report. This map report appears only when you have address field. So that means you need to have an address field with a latitude longitude data for it to even plot a map. So that way I can say I want to create a map field with the address field that I have, and I have the plot ready. So in a recruitment, say for example you take a recruitment application, that will be more useful. Like you have some clients or the companies posting their job request and the candidates applying for it from various locations. So the analysis, the data analysis that you want to do with the kind of report that you see, whether the client has the client is offering the job from this geographic location and the candidates who are applying are only from this geographic location, so that the client definitely will know, okay, I will have good candidates. Or the way you have to deal will be different. So all this kind of analysis would be helpful when it comes to these kinds of report. So this is one example which I wanted to show you quickly, how from a data you can get into the application. And this was the first time that I'm doing it for you as an audience, so more of an explanation you could think. This itself is taking more time, I could have built it myself, but when you start getting a hands-on with the data, how you can quickly get there, then it's a matter of time. You don't need any guidance from outside. You will know very clearly from the data, and the system or the platform understands from the data what kind of relationship should be set between the forms, and you're already there. You can create n number of reports for a form. You don't need, there's no restriction. Okay, I can have only 2 reports, 3 reports, you can have any number of reports. And by deleting all the reports, you're not losing the data. That is the advantage of the platform. That means the data is getting stored in the form, not in the report. So that's the reason why the smart import interface is able to create an application for you, because the data is stored in the form. And that is another reason why I was telling you, you don't need a backend team. You don't need a team to create a data structure for the design that you make. The person drags and drops and creates a form. He is actually constructing the data structure. That means he is becoming a backend developer by himself. So course of time, a citizen developer becomes a full stack developer. Just few knowledge here and there is good enough. That's it. Yeah, I mean, I believe in that. Yeah, that is what is actually happening, because I was working in a partner company where I had a person from civil engineering background, has no knowledge on coding or even IT, was not interested in it actually. But this platform also enables one other feature where you have the script building feature. Again, you said low code. Low code means I definitely need to do some kind of coding. That will be the next question asked. So if I don't know coding, what next? How will I manage the show? So there, what you do is, say for example, I want to write a test workflow, and you have the guidance. You don't really need to remember any syntax. Okay, just drag and drop, fill wherever necessary, your job is done. That much easy is what is low code. And the problem with me was, when I started with the low code, and that person who from a civil engineering background, he was so interested and he was doing this job. I was totally irritated with this kind of a job. He was dragging and dropping, just going on doing it. I said, if you're going to keep doing this, I don't think you'll be able to finish the coding at all. Because each and every line of code, if it's going to be a business logic of, say, even 60 lines of code, you're going to drag and drop to visualize and analyze, you're not going to get it done. It has to be like a plain paper where you write the code. That's all. That is what I knew. And I used to actually hit him on his hand not to do that, so that you will remember to write the code yourself. But then I realized, okay, low code has its own capability. As a developer, I should also be able to appreciate this. And I started doing this of late. Yeah. So this is in a nutshell about the low code. I do have so many other things to show. Maybe I think I'm already past time. So let me stop here. I'm happy to discuss about or show you what I have, maybe offline. Yeah. I hope this helps. Thanks a lot for your time.
Yes, like you said, it was a little. Please stay a little, because I still want you to have the possibility to ask questions right now. I have so many written down. Maybe I could start.
Yeah.
When in the middle of the presentation, you showed when developing for mobile applications. Mm-hmm. Do I develop for Android and iOS separately, or is it one code base that gets rendered into the native languages?
You have 2 ways to do it. One, as I told you, as a citizen developer or a low coder, you can build it once in the browser, and using the mobile capability, you can download that as an iOS for users or portal user, or an Android for users or portal user. So that way you create the respective file formats. For Android it's APK, for iOS its own format, and placing
Wait, just a second.
yeah, that's okay. Yeah. And placing it in Play Store or Apple Store, you have certain steps to be followed. For Play Store, no steps. Yeah, still you have ABP. Yes, sorry, I should not say that. You do have steps, but when it comes to Apple Store, definitely you have super steps. Follow it, place it once. Then, any change that comes, you don't need to go and upload the app again. Just touch base only the browser because you've already set the structure. So that is one approach. Another approach, the pro-coder approach, or Android or mobile app the lovers, no, they would want all the time to see the front end only in Android, using Android application, Android Studio. I want to build only with using Android Studio. Okay, good. You still have a scope for it. In those cases alone, any changes that you do, you need to explicitly go and touch base on the application. So there are two approaches. You can still use Creator as a backend there.
All right. Well, is it working? No. Okay. I would say one question, and since we're already over time a little, just for the live stream, please.
Hallo? Hi, hi. Sag das doch. Hi, one question. So if I have a database in the backend and I don't have CSV data or Excel data, can I integrate my database automatically in the app?
Yeah, okay. There are again 2-3 approaches to it. One approach, your database is a local database, right? Like Postgres or MySQL.
Yeah, Postgres, for example.
Okay. Since Creator has got this analytics in it, analytics has got a beautiful feature called data bridging. And what that does is, it acts like a middleware. Yeah? So what happens is, you say, I want to connect to your database from Creator. That means, I will basically make use of this analytics which is bundled inside Creator, which has this data bridging. I will download this middleware, and it is like you just need to download and install it once and configure it, saying this is the IP where your database resides, this is the port through which I am going to communicate to your database, and these are the tables from which I want to pick the data, and in a very sequential manner or on a regular frequency every week or something like that. All that can be defined in analytics. Since analytics is now very closely integrated, tied up with Creator, from Creator you can make use of the analytics APIs to take the bulk data. You can have 1,000 records, you can have 1,000,000 records, however be the records, you can just take it. And maybe you don't want to replace, you don't want to fetch all the time the old records. You just need to fetch the new records alone. Then you can set a criteria as added time, the time in which the record gets added to this week or something like that. You can pull in the latest record. So that way it's doable.
Right.
Yes. Or
Makes sense.
any cloud-based database, REST API. Simple.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Thank you so much, Padma. So I would say let's move the next questions to personal questions with you. Is that okay? Just maybe one last thing. Is there a dark mode for the platform? A dark mode for the platform?
Dark mode.
Yes. Maybe that should be the next feature.
Okay, when you say dark mode is like in the programming,
Yes. No, not
like an
in
IDE.
Yes.
Yeah. We do have the dot mode. Yes.
All right.
I didn't want, see the workshops, you will see the dot mode.
Yeah.
I know where you are going to, yeah.
Okay.
Because yeah, I do have a lot of experience with notepads alone, and that had happened to me. And my project manager had deleted, uninstalled the IDE at all from my machine. Because all the time, whenever he gives before he completes the requirement, I complete the solution. So he says, stop doing that. So I'll remove that. You need to remember. You need to remember the methods. You need to remember the access specifiers, modifiers. You cannot be playing around just like that.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, I understood. But low code is not like that. You do have some dots in it, don't worry.
All right.
But here and there dots. See to it, you make the less use of code and try to use the features available in it to achieve your functionality. That way, I think it will be good both for the product's improvement and also as a low coder or a citizen developer to appreciate the world to use a platform as a low code application platform.
Great. So, as you probably some of you have seen on your seats, there are some gifts from Zoho. Please take them home with you. And if you don't have any on your seats, there's more on the counter. Also, we have some more time to stay here a little. There's food left and drinks, and you can network, get to know each other, and also ask Padma and Elena all the questions you have about Zoho. So thank you, Padma, for sharing this with us.
Thank you very much, all of you, for the time. Have a good evening.